Sink Cast a Mile. What's up, everybody? John Graves, Kayak Fishing. Hey, listen, this review is going to be coming to you with a little transparency, sort of a disclaimer here. Because when Little Miami Outfitters presented me with this Proteus Spincasting rod to take out into the field, and as a kayak angler, somewhat use and abuse like we know how to do it, and then give a really honest review, I certainly did not have the education back then that I was about to receive in the years to follow in regards of making a good quality fishing rod. So let's talk about what really first appealed to me about this fishing rod, with the education that I had back then compared to what I think about this fishing rod with what I know now. So, hey, I'm a sucker for just really, really simple, pretty things and well-made looking things. They may not work real well, but does it look good? And like many, I'm sure we look at the cosmetics of a rod. That may be one of the first deciding factors of us purchasing that rod. And with that in mind, I certainly was impressed with how this one looked. Haven't used it yet, but I was really impressed with how it looked. Overall, appearances really do mean something to me, and like many of us, I'm sure it does, this Proteus rod from Little Miami Outfitter, it didn't fall short. Starting with the butt cap, the LMO brand right there, silver trim ring in front of it, the split EVA split grip system here also has the Little Miami logo branded in there. And then working up to the American Tackle exposed apex handle design. It has a 3K graphite insert, and that allows the angler to have direct contact with the blank to offer superior sensitivity. And having that paired up with a matching American Tackle G2 3K carbon foregrip. So as we move forward of the hook keeper here, this is a 7'2" medium heavy 8 to 14 blank. We get to this very cool looking American Tackle Airwave Spincasting guide set. Now, this particular guide set has neither the Duralite or the Nanolite guide ring within the frame of the guide. So this offers a lighter guide set, and it also offers 0 ring loss. Why? There's no ring to lose. There's no ring to wear down. There's no ring to crack or break loose during the use and abuse of the rod. Now, this is also a unique, very unique award-winning design that offers the angler a much better casting experience, delivering your distance and your accuracy, and by golly, is the most awarded fishing component on the face of the planet. That right there. So, simply put, without a guide set, all of these guys right here, this is just a big stick. Now, I'm not a big fan at all of a lot of fancy thread work. So the simplicity in the one color thread wrap is spot on for me personally. Now keep in mind, the more thread work, the more finish that needs to be applied to that thread work. And what's that equate to? More weight added to the fishing rod. I like a really lightweight fishing rod that I can sling all day. Now, I have had this rod for over 3 years, and well, to put it plainly, I have beat the hell out of it. Kayak anglers, just by the nature of what we do, are very, very rough on equipment. We have these confined spaces that we work in. We're sliding these things in and out of rod tubes. We're shoving them back here on yak crates. And then, not to mention, scraping the tops of all of our rods under those low bridges that we seem to think we can fit under, or those low hanging tree limbs that always seem to be there when we don't need them. Now, I have the Proteus Spincasting rod teamed up with an absolutely very inexpensive, yet somewhat surprisingly smooth Daiwa Strikeforce 2500 Spincasting reel. This thing retails for less than 30 bucks. This reel has been a workhorse for me and has just really worked great the 2+ years I've had it. So if I can get, an inexpensive reel out there, then, why not? I have it loaded up with a 30-pound Bushido braid, and with that braid tied directly to a 4 or a 5/0 straight worm hook. And with any really use of a mono leader or a fluorocarbon leader. This particular setup has been great for fluke, shallow crankbaits, top water. It's very useful with drop shot or even a Texas rig. It's really just an all-around great spin casting rod. I've had to turn the heads on some pretty big fish, and I've had a ton of success doing it with this setup. It's one of only 4 that I carry out with me in a tournament. It will cast a mile. And when you need it, it's going to horse some big bass out of the grass. It holds its own if you're taking it out onto the inshore. I've caught the biggest red that I've ever caught. Very nice trophy red. Got it successfully up into the kayak to take some pictures with that thing, all because of the Proteus Spincasting rod. So now let's look at some of the wear and tear on the rod. You can see that I've absolutely worn down the grips, but they're still usable. There's no need to replace these things. Wore the logo down on that a little bit, but like I said, I'm pretty impressed with the overall, yak crate marks right there. Pretty impressed with these right here. I've absolutely wore down all of the spec labels. I've got a few knocks here and there. That's common. I'm glad the knocks are down here in the meat of the stick and not up in the tip right there. But something that is pretty common with any type of tip top right there, without paying close attention to that, this can result in your line being compromised and breaking when you need it the most. But it's also a really easy fix simply by removing the tip top and replacing it with another. And what I'm talking about are those grooves that are being worn out in that guide ring right there with the braid. Overall, I give this rod an outstanding 5-star rating. I'm going to be using this rod, even though she's a little rough around the corner edges, and so am I. I'm going to continue using this Proteus rod from Little Miami Outfitters. I have a feeling that we both have a lot of fishing adventures in our future to share together. Now you can find your Proteus rod, spin casting rod or bait casting rod at littlemiamioutfitters.com. You're not going to regret it. Absolutely love it. And tell them John Graves Kayak Fishing sent you.